will be recording now. Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for joining me tonight. I am so excited to be able to host an individual playtest session. This is essentially so that viewers like you who are interested in supporting indie game devs and solo devs potentially to be able to create content and create gameplay that you can take to your home table to be able to tell stories in a way that is powerful and simple. That in mind, I'm introducing my friend Justin to the Eternal storytelling engine. Justin, say hi. How you doing?
Hey, everybody. It's good to see you. Doing good. I'm excited. I'm really excited to try this out and kind of dip my toes in the water.
Now, just a quick little survey before we get going, really get underway. What elements of this engine are you most looking forward to? We've talked a little bit about kind of how it's supposed to roll, but for you, what elements of the game would you say are the most intriguing and that you're most excited for?
As we've discussed before, you've made a lot of mention that there's more of a focus on your character as opposed to just relying on dice rolls or luck of the dice. You said there's a little, or you made it seem like there was a little bit more focus on role play, which I'm definitely interested in. And then like putting my character together and everything like that. The stats, everything that you use to modify any rolls that you use, it all just seems a little simpler. It seems nicer. In fact, it seems almost boiled down to more or less the bare necessities.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think that the whole point of the game is to simplify and almost oversimplify the dice rolling while still keeping that necessary element. Why do we even roll the dice? Like, what's the point of having the dice in a game like this? Really, there are some very key moments that are important for us to make sure that the tension stays and the story stays dynamic. So with that, we're going to jump into gameplay and explain a bit more about how this works. Now, forgive me, I'm going to switch around some of my windows over here to make sure that we are covering this in the proper way.
Beauty.
I'm going to shrink this over here. Oh, she's a beauty. That's right. I'm going to quit that real quick. And last but not leastly, this is going to be... Oop, not what I wanted. You'd think I'd be prepared, but you may find that there's a few of my experiences where this is kind of par for the course, where I realize, oh crap, the thing that I need needs to be in front of me. So I appreciate your patience.
Oh, I've run games of my own, so I know how it is.
All right, there's this. Let me pop back there. It is. All right. Are you ready, sir?
I am.
I'm not certain you are.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
All right. Let's get going.
I'm ready for it all. Bring it on.
All right, lad. Let's break it down. So, one of the most powerful elements of this game, this is where many people have the opportunity to jump in and tell a story. That's kind of the appeal of most TTRPGs generally. But how we do it in this particular engine allows the player and Karma, the host of the game, to kind of give and take the story with one another. Of course, Karma, the host, is the one that kind of dictates the world and how the players are responded to when they make choices. Players are able to make decisions as they relate to their individual created character. Now, that's kind of par for the course for most TTRPGs, so let's just demonstrate how this game works differently than others. All right, so the first part of any game session of Aeternal, when it comes to the preparation and planning and finally arriving at the session, is set the scene. It's a lot like what most other games and even most writing will allow you to do. This is where players get the context they need to pursue their goals and stay true to their virtues and vices, two very important elements of this particular game. In doing so, they can get deeper into the story and the lore of the world, and they can start to influence its proceedings. So, right now, I'm going to provide Justin with a couple different pieces of information and allow him the chance to play with them. Let's get into it. Snow has just stopped falling, and the silence of night mingles with the chill of winter. Cool mist from an open ravine carved by a river rises to meet the air. It's icy to breathe. It's icy to stand in. It makes the bridge guard's fur stand on end. He gives his head a shake, his pointed ears still straight up. He's wrapped warm, but it bites through every layer he's got. He hears nothing, not even the distant waterfalls that produced this gorge. He licks his fangs, just a bit too long to stay in his mouth, and he swishes his long tail back and forth to keep it from freezing. He feels his eyes adjust as he focuses on the far side of the bridge. His partner, assigned to this detail, begged him to come. His partner, Flarens, lounges on the other side, pulling at his extremely long ears, testing them for feeling. He's an Eldran, one of the elven kind of lore. To Crisp, the Phelan guard, Flarens is nothing more than a man biding his time. The Eldron is awaiting his moment, his time to shine. And so he stood up to his superior officer and wound up here. And Crisp, being the friend that he is, called him an idiot and attempted to dismiss Flarens as stepping out of line. When the captain didn't obey, Flarens begged and pleaded and wept, thinking his journey to glory was over. And now, Crisp is freezing his haunches off. Until he hears the sobbing. His eyes dart to Flarens, who stands at alert, facing away from him, up the bend. Flarens shoots a look over his shoulder at Crisp, who bobs his chin out at him. "What's going on, mate?" "Travelers," Flarens calls back, not looking. Crisp's eyes dart right to the path, and he sees distant shadows coming into view. 2, then 5, then 10, then 20 people around the bend in the road. Women weep. Children sob, inconsolable. The men have hollow postures, like cactuses burned through and drooping from their own weight. "Those aren't travelers," Crisp says to no one. "They're bloomin' refugees." Crisp watches them interact with Flarens, cloaks torn, hoods thin, no winter clothing on a single one of them, children bundled with what good clothing was available. Flarens talks to them. They're too far away for him to hear clearly. That's when Crisp hears the hooves. The distant sound of hooves in the dark snaps Crisp's attentions to the path behind him, leading to his side of the bridge. He focuses through the mist, squinting and letting his eyes adjust again. Justin, who do we see riding up through the haze?
We see a large figure, a figure that sports not only the torso of a man, but hooved feet, not only 2 hooved feet, but 4 hooved feet. One could say it is centaurid in anatomy. But on top of this strong, burly torso, a man's torso, you could say, except for the fact that there are long, fat.
You've frozen, my friend. All right. 1 second. I want to make sure that I have him ready to go. All right. While we wait for Justin to pop back in, if you're just joining us, this is an opportunity for you to learn more about the Eternal storytelling engine. This is specifically designed as a storytelling game, It's not a combat engine. It's nothing of that kind. Now, as you are watching the role plays and watching the experiment that is this game. Oh, hey, Hobbit. I'm in the process of doing one-on-one playtest to help me get more reps to better hone what it means to run a game of Aeternal. That way I can standardize what a karma, a host, will do for this TTRPG. I also have just had, I want to make sure that I have this guy ready to go. This friend of mine, Justin, was gracious enough to pop on and do a session with me to, yeah, I'm excited. To be able to join in and play test a couple elements and making sure that one specific branch of the mechanics of this game are running smoothly. They have to do with what I've already talked with you about, Hobbit, and that is the origin elements, the origins. That means your lineage, your virtue, your vice, your story flag, what I'm going to be repurposing and calling the calling of your character, their epic trait, and their adaptation. Those are a lot of gobbledygook right now, but they will each become relevant using in-game tools that are really important for Karma, the host, to bring forward later on in the story. Now, if you forgive me, I'm going to see what I can do to switch a couple of my feeds and make sure that I can reach out to my friend here. All right. Hi. This is my second camera, making sure that I can get this good to go and contact my friend, make sure he's okay. All right, we will see how that goes. Well, over the course of working with my friend Justin, I'm hoping he'll be able to pop in, but we will let him take his time getting back. With this engine, one of the things I'm most excited to play test and for Karmas to play test as they are running their own games is the concept of the Chekhov's gun. Now, the Chekhov's gun is, oh shoot, his Wi-Fi. His power went out for a split second and he's trying to reconnect his Wi-Fi. Got it. So he'll be back. One of the more experimental of my improvements to the game includes a way to utilize Chekhov's gun that honors what your players have done to create their character using their origins. So all those things that I just listed off, I'm really excited to be able to codify a way to store and catalog how often we have referred back to your character's origins, and then appropriately testing those origins in context of the story you're playing. One of the ways that I love kind of mitigating different conflicts at the table is to fulfill a rule set or a codified way to address concerns within the story. And that means I'm addressing one of the biggest issues is what my character would do. I'm also addressing, well, I spent 15 hours and in a crazy fever dream coming up with all this backstory for a character that I've fallen in love with. Why didn't you use any of that to build toward a bigger narrative? In order to fix that, and in order to improve communication at the table, what I've done is created, oh, he's back. There you are, bud.
Sorry about that.
You're
lights
good.
flickered and my Wi-Fi cut out.
Well, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
I was just explaining a bit more about the engine itself and really utilizing character origins in a way that respects what a player like you would be doing as they are getting into the game. It's kind of my way of codifying my way around not touching on your character's backstory well enough. It's also a way of me identifying immediately what you care about in your gameplay. You're not going to pick something willy-nilly. You're going to put some thought and time into it. Even if it's just 15 minutes, if you're deciding, I actually kind of like the fact that he's going to be a Zotara, a half giant, and making sure that that is clear, making sure that we've codified that so that you have some way of having a reward when those elements start showing up later in the story.
Awesome.
Now, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to hear more about how your character looks. You were describing a centaurid type of physicality, but are there any other distinguishing factors that we should see of this character? What's he wearing? What are his colors? Is his fur a certain design? What does he look like?
Yeah. So before I got cut out, so yeah, he's a large centaurid. Stands fairly tall. One distinguishing feature from any other centaur that most people have probably seen is that he does not have the face of a man, but actually the head of a horse. And that being said, he has a long mane that's been braided down with red ties, and the mane and his tail, both being braided, are a dark black, kind of a midnight black color. And his coat in and of itself is almost your stereotypical Shire horse, a dark chestnut, with a white blaze down the front of his face, leading into almost a pink muzzle, and white socks on his shaggy fedlocks. He himself is clad mostly in leather belts, straps, harnesses, especially on the chest of the horse part of his lower body. He actually wears a hauling harness, and on his side, on his hip, tethered to that hauling harness, he has a rope with hooks. On his other side, he carries a double bit axe, and his demeanor isn't jolly, but it isn't as heavy set as, say, a horse of a similar build would be.
Why don't we experiment with that just a little bit? Because I want to understand more about how he sees the world. How would you respond as he's galloping up to around the bend, and very quickly coming into view, you see half of a bridge, this side of a bridge that is currently lifted up, so it's more like a wall in front of you. And next to that, next to a working mechanism, is a phalan, this feline male soldier. You can immediately identify him because I would imagine you're at least semi-familiar with the presence of the Empire here. He's wearing Empire blues, and you would know that that's what they're called. He wears silver armor, but he's also wearing blue, stylized blue leathers beneath that. So it's very light armor, but it's designed to take a hit on the more sensitive areas, pretty tough. And then the joints are covered with this very thick leather. So you'd think he'd be warm. It's still bitingly cold out. And I think even with your fur, even as you're wrapped up with your winter clothing, it's still going to be chilly out here.
That makes sense.
So how would you respond to him?
I mean, you say I'm kind of galloping in around the bend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless
I guess
you'd like to change that. There's not that's not a hard set.
Because to clarify, I'm arriving with these other refugees, correct?
You're coming from the other end of the bridge. Your
Okay,
side of
so
the
the
bridge
opposite.
is up. Theirs, from what you can tell, coming around the bend, for a split second, you can see that theirs is down, and they are approaching another soldier dressed in exactly the same armor, sized for the person that's across the way.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I would say maybe I'd come galloping up. If that were the case, then it would be a heavy gallop. Being a larger creature, it would just and I would just kind of be bouncing as I gallop along, and I would, kind of stop abruptly, not right next to him, because I don't want to scare him. I'm not one to really try and intimidate people or throw my weight around. I do know that I have the bulk to accomplish great things, but my goal isn't to use that to sway anybody.
That's great.
That being said, I would kind of screech to a halt, my hooves kind of scraping in either the muck or the cobblestones, whatever's underneath. And then I would slowly just come right up next to him. And
he's looking up at you, and he's doing his best as a soldier to be like, I'm the authority here. But really, he's looking up at you. There's a quick little flicker of his eyelids as he's like, holy crap, this thing is a behemoth, before he kind of settles and tries to roll his shoulders and gather himself again. In fact, why don't you do this? Go ahead and take your mastery die and roll for Braun. This is to see whether or not he is intimidated by you. Now, in Aeternal, every dice roll is contested, meaning as you're rolling your die, I am taking a die on my end, something that is a commensurate value for the challenge at hand. This is a soldier. You are who you are, and you are a pretty big dude. So I'm taking a D6 to kind of volunteer what it means to be a soldier. Now, the funny thing about that is I'm going to be using his modifier. If I was rolling for the world generally, I could pick another die as well. It's pretty calm right now, so that might be a D6. It might be as little as a D4. But every threat that is present in the scene relevant to you will add a point to its own modifier.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. That makes sense.
So go ahead and roll for Braun. I'm going to roll for mine.
Okay.
We're immediately going to be teaching you a couple things about what it means to get crits and to roll contested rolls. But for now, let me hear your result. What are you thinking?
Sweet. Okay, so that was a roll on the D6. Do I add anything to that?
You'll be adding your Braun trait.
Okay, so that would be a 6 then.
One of my longtime supporters and actually one of my playtesters, Hobbit on Wheels, is here with us. And she knows what happens when we get a crit. In Aeternal, crits are not measured by a natural 20 or a natural 1. Instead, they're measured by how high above you get from my roll.
Oh,
now,
okay.
I rolled a 2 on my die with a +2 modifier for several specific threats. You can identify what those are by investigating and learning more about the environment. But for this, that brings us to a total of 4. Remind me what your roll is total?
Mine total was a 6.
6? Mm-hmm. You are just shy of a crit. Just shy. But you have intimidated him, whether or not you intended so. His will was not strong enough to resist your sheer presence, which is why I selected Braun for that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, he's looking up, and in this moment, you have a moment where he's talking with you, and he's going to do this whole thing. State your business.
And as I'm getting closer there, kind of stop in front of him. Mm-hmm. I'll just take a draw from the cigar, which I essentially hold in my lips like a cigarette because of my large size.
But you're huge.
But instead of exhaling through the mouth, it comes through my large horse-like nostrils. I'm just checking on the gates. I was just a little curious. I heard that there was... Actually, what would my business be there right now?
I think right now, canonically, we know that you are a workhorse, in essence.
True.
You know that you're looking for work. You know that you might be traveling the countryside. I think that what we just revealed in the dice rolls here, I don't know that is an isolated incident for Sämpson. I don't know that unwilling intimidation is uncommon for you. To be frank, there's no one else in Eshelbel that looks like you. There are no centaurids.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why you're shifting from place to place, looking for work to provide for yourself. This is your opportunity to go to the next city you're aware of, which I would imagine might be like the Amorous Cove or some of the surrounding cities around the Amorous Cove, particularly because it's winter. And the Amorous Cove is warm, and that means fields are pliable. You're a workhorse, you're a plow horse, that's where you're going.
That makes sense. That being said, being a workhorse, I'm much more suited for logging and the like. So I'll just kind of look over to him. I'm not scowling at him. I'm not sizing him up or anything like that. But I'm just looking at him. Well, I could say that my business is my own, but to be honest, I'm just heading out for work. You see, I've got to I got to put this axe to use. I accidentally threw a shoe while I was out, and I had to come back in to the farriers. He had to put a new shoe on me. So I'm heading back out. I'm gonna do some work. I'm gonna fill some trees.
He's just kind of stymied there for a second. He doesn't really know how to respond. Go ahead and roll me a senses roll now.
Okay. So that's still the D6, right?
That is still your D6, and you're going to be adding your senses modifier. Okay. We call each of these 6 different modifiers traits.
Beauty. Well, look at that. A 3 on the die again. So that gives me a 4. Because I have a +1 to senses.
With a 5 on the die, you do not get it. But what you do hear are sudden cries and weeping, sobbing. It sounds like a group of people that is just in terror. And the thing that I think that you would register is this man before you, this soldier, kind of looks over his shoulder, almost like checking in with his buddy across the way. You're free to continue to investigate what's going on here. As far as you know, this is the easiest crossing that you can find for miles. Now, granted, you're a horse, so you can kind of go up and down as you will, but the safest and most direct course is right here. You see this soldier looking over, and you saw the soldier on the other side earlier when you first arrived, when you were first glancing over there. Mm-hmm. Owing to the fact that you don't hear what is said, I will tell you what you see instead. The soldier's gone. The soldier on the other side, not the Phelan, not the feline-looking man next to you. Mm-mm. The Eldran, the elven man across the way, is not visible.
The one that's on the side of the mass of the horde of people.
Mm-hmm. 20 or so people are standing over there, and even as you're watching, I'll let you see this. You see that this group of people has kind of bunched together in clusters. So like there's a group of 2 and a group of 5 and a group of 3, and they're just kind of like bunching together, huddling for warmth.
Okay.
The soldier's just not there. And you start to hear, what the? Right, so, excuse me, Florence! No response.
I want to try and see, like amongst the crowd, if I can kind of see, like the blue armor, or the blue, like tabard.
Smart. Let me do this. Where they have bunched up, this is going to be easier for you. I'm going to take this down to a D4. Oh my guy, you don't even have to roll good. I think you're going to crit right here.
Well, let's see how well I do then. Oh, well, that's a... Am I doing senses?
Senses, yes.
So that's a 5 on the die, and that's a 6 total.
With that crit, you see that a man in silver armor and blue leathers, Empire blues, is standing up from behind one of the bunches of people. And is just kind of rolling himself off, and he turns around and is like, what was that for? Kind of vibe. Even if you can't, in fact, you did get the crit. So, right. So what was that all about? Does someone want to explain to me exactly what that was? I understand you're scared. You don't need to come around here and be violent. I've got my orders to watch the place, but if you're going to insist on that, I'll just take you down now. So, would you like to cross or not? So,
and that's him talking to the mass.
He's talking loudly. He is getting big. He's trying to show authority. And at this point, I'll give you this because of your crit as well. You see that the Phelan man, the soldier who keeps calling his buddy Flarens over there, he's inching towards a wooden mechanized winch that is also a crank. It allows him to lower his end of the bridge. And you get the feeling like he is awaiting word, some signal, some word that says, lower the bridge, and I'm going to get you out of there.
Okay.
You're hearing women and children still. In fact, things have started to escalate now. You're starting to see people that are crowding and trying to get past this soldier who's now kind of the only thing standing between these 20 panicked people and the downed bridge, this side of the bridge that's down on their side. He's holding his arms out and he's like going back and forth between, hey, stay there, stay there. And he's reaching for his sword, but then someone screams, I said stay there. And it's starting to get bad. It's not even that these people are antagonistic. It's that they are scared.
How wide is this gap?
The gap between the two pieces of bridge.
Yes.
I'd give that 60 feet per side. So 120 feet to cross the entire gap.
Okay. I'm going to look to the Phelan.
Yes.
And I'm going to not trying to alarm him or anything. I'm going to say, it looks like your companion over there is maybe in a bit of hot water.
No, you got that right.
If you'd like, if you lower the bridge just a wee bit, I'd be more than willing to take a wee hop over the gap and maybe assist your friend over there.
Go ahead and roll for will. This is will against will, and he's still rolling his d6.
Okay. And then I'm rolling a d6 as well?
Yes.
Still? Okay.
What happened?
That is a 1 on the die.
Oh, no!
And that is a +2, so that's a 3 total.
Okay. With a 7.
Cripes!
This Phelan soldier kind of cocks his head at you like, nice try, pal. And that's kind of the vibe. But That's when someone screams from the other side. He snaps his eye over there. His partner, his buddy, is like, stop! And is just getting even worse. Things are bad. That's when his partner finally, Flarens turns around. The man named Flarens turns around, points at his partner, go! And that's when his buddy slaps his hand down on the mechanism. He might not have responded to you, but he knows his partner and he knows that crap is about to go down. The bridge, whatever is happening, I would imagine you're going to go straight gallop. You're going to get across this bridge, right?
Yeah, as soon as because you said I could kind of see the mechanism more or less.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he went for it, I would have braced and charged as soon as that started going down.
Nice. As you bolt past him, he says, hey, wait! And of course, you're not going to slow down. There's a problem. So you're going up the bridge. It's at a slant. You're really hoofing it, but as it goes down lower and lower, finally, you barrel down almost at the same moment as it touches down. Go ahead and roll me a grace roll.
Okay. Whoops, there goes my die. So that is a 5 total.
5 total.
Mm-hmm.
With a 4 total on my end, you hear the boards of this bridge begin to groan under your weight. Now, one of the things about this game that separates it from other engines, it might be similar to things that you've seen in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It uses what's called fuses. It's this game's version of a ticking clock. These are things that I can instill in a scene to provide tension, urgency. But for you, it simply means that if you're not careful, this bridge could come down.
Okay.
So that is the immediate thought you have when you feel the bridge kind of crackle of some old wood in this very dark, very frigid location. Now, really the only thing that's providing ambient light is the moon coming through the mist. Now, as this is happening, as you're bolting across, I want you to roll a senses. You will have one roll to be able to determine what the heck is going on. And at this point, this difficulty has risen from just a +2, 2 threats, one soldier, and the entire group on the other side to an escalation of sorts. So it's now +3, still at a D6.
Okay. Let's see.
Number to beat is 7.
7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That, for my senses, is a 5 total.
Got it. As you near the other side, these people are blurring past you, and you go almost through the crowd. They duck out of the way as you come around. You circle back towards the back of the group. You've actually come around the bend in such a way that you can see that they're actually pulling a wagon as well behind them. And as you're doing your best to assess the situation, you're circling the group. You're kind of corralling them as a horse might corral around something else, some predator from their herd. Now, as you're looking at all these people, your senses didn't get you the information you were looking for, but what you do see are wide eyes. You see Mundani, humans. You see a couple Stonebrow, an elderly Stonebrow and his wife. You see even more Phelan. There's probably a group of 5 Phelan huddled together, more than likely a family unit. The majority of them here are Mundani. They're human. And as you're watching them, they look up at you like, oh, what the frick? The number one thing that you do take away, though, is at the end of the group where this wagon is. It's not even like a fully covered wagon like you'd see crossing the plains somewhere. It's more of a handcart. Large wheels on the side to maneuver over large rocks in the ground. And there are 3 injured people in that cart.
Okay.
Each of them is Mundani. One of them has bandages around his chest. You can see that even as he has his hands tucked around himself, pulling around this tissue of a blanket, his hands, forget his fingertips, you can't see them because they're clutched around this blanket so much. His knuckles are blue. Tip of his nose, blue. Chin, blue. Ears, deep blue, almost purple. He is shivering. And you can tell that if he was not in shock before, he's barely coming out of it. If he was in shock before, he's just barely coming out of it, and you can't tell a difference because his hypothermia is so heavy set. The other 2 are not much better. One of them has a face wrapping that covers almost the majority of both eyes. You can barely see out of this one. And his shoulder and neck have been wrapped. Someone here has medicinal knowledge, and I want that to be known. As you're moving forward, though, you see that the people are starting to crowd the soldier even further. The soldier actually approaches you. No one moves as he walks through this crowd. Nobody moves until I talk to this idiot. And so he gets up to you. What are you doing? We're trying to keep a protocol here.
I just take a puff from my cigar again. Just. Any protocol that you had seems to be falling apart right now, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not meaning to insult you. I'm just trying to help you in your situation.
I said don't move. Looks up at you again. Fine. Help me get these people across. Go ahead and roll me, let's see. Your stats were Brawn, Gray, Sense of Smarts, Will, Aware. Go ahead and roll me 1 more Senses.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
What's going on there, buddy?
I rolled a 1 on the die again.
I rolled a 1 on the die.
And I've got a +1, so it's a 2.
Oh, I got a +3 for 4.
Oh man. Okay.
So, as this is how we're going to play this out, okay?
Okay.
You continue to kind of circle the area. I'm going to give you a choice. You can move with this group, or you can kind of stand as a guardian at the gate and watch these people as they pass. Right? Circling them is going to give you the 360 vantage, but that's going to leave kind of unrestricted access to the bridge. I want to point something out to you. So I think that with your previous understanding, your previous crits and things like that, I'm going to ride the curtails on that just for this piece of intel.
Okay.
You keep thinking back. The soldier was hit or injured, like, by these people, and they're desperate, and that's understandable. Like, no one wants to come to work one day and be smacked on the back of the head because they're doing their job.
Yeah.
Granted, it's a soldier, so it's kind of par for the course. They kind of live and breathe and die this stuff. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a mixed bag for him. And as a logging man, I don't know that you respect authority per se, but you do respect that this is kind of the culture of the Empire. They're used to being heard and listened to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which, with your senses roll, you don't see. But I will tell you that with your 5 senses, I will allow you your smell. And what you smell is blood. A lot of it. And when you look, you see that the soldier, for all intents and purposes, when you see him from the front, he's pointing at people, and he's like, there's no shift in his demeanor whatsoever. And where are you oriented right now? Are you standing at the gate, or are you circling the group as it diminishes across the bridge?
That being said, I would like to stand at the gate, but I want to do so where I'm almost in the middle of the bridge, so the people have to pass on either side of me.
I will warn you, this bridge is 120 feet across. I would argue that because you are so large and the bridge is not that strong, this is the second time you've stepped on it. I'm going to have you roll another D6 grace to make sure that this works.
Okay.
You were successful the last time. We're going to see what happens now.
Okay. That is a 6 total.
Meets it, beats it. So, and it's always in the player's favor. Typically, the actor in a given roll-off or contested roll is the one who is more favored in meets it, beats it situations.
Okay.
In this situation, you're able to kind of test the planks where you stand. You gallop across, you turn your body, and then you position yourself a kind of strafing to the side to make sure that you're dead center of this path. Mm-hmm. The challenge with this bridge is 120 feet across. It is a drawbridge that goes from either side, right? One side is down permanently. The other one is actually opposable. Your issue is that because you're so big, you are you are a 6-foot profile, not even your length, but just wide. You're a big dude. That means there is essentially 6 feet additional on either side of you.
Okay.
Now, standing in the middle, your body is actually cross-sectioned where the gap is between the two halves of the bridge. Mm-hmm. And I can't help but wonder if there's a little bit of vertigo with you. We'll let you kind of decide that as we play. But people are kind of scrambling a little bit, like, oh, sorry, excuse me. They're terrified. There might be like handrails on this thing, but they are old. No one is touching them. No one trusts them. They face their backs towards the center of the bridge and look up over their shoulder at you, completely unnerved by your presence. But they would rather have to deal with you than fall off the edge.
That makes sense. As they do, I'm going to keep an eye out. I'm going to be vigilant, but I'm also going to share a smile with them. My large horse lips that are going to curve up in a smile. I'm not necessarily going to show my horse teeth because those aren't quite welcoming, but I am going to smile at them.
Why don't you roll me a will roll? You're willing an emotion, an experience upon these people. What's your roll?
A 5 on the die plus 2, that is a 7 total.
With a 1 on the die, you have crit. Crits in this game function if you exceed 3 plus 3 above the opposing die. Okay. So you definitely clear that. Meaning, if you were in combat, you would essentially double your damage. In a role play moment, it means that you get exactly what you're looking for and a slight advantage for something later. So, what you do see, as this is a critical success, you see a Mundani woman and husband with a bundle in her arms. She's cooing, she's stroking this baby. You can see red lines down her face where her tears have frozen and then crusted off from the motion and extremity of emotion of trying to get here. So it's almost like her skin has been injured by the sheer cold of this place.
Yeah.
Dots of ice around her eyelashes, kind of a thing. And you smile at them, and the husband kind of, as he passes, just baby kind of coos and whimpers a little bit, and the mother doesn't respond. She's just staring at you. Go ahead and roll me one more. I'll let you choose between senses and aware. Senses has more to do with your physicality. It has more to do with your bodily, how your mind is connected to your body and how you process information that way. Awareness is how your spirit connects to your environment. So it's almost like an extrasensory experience. It's empathetic as well as sensing powers greater than yourself. I'll let you choose which one this is. The modifiers are the same in your case, but I want you to tell me what you've got.
Honestly, I'm going to go with my gut, and I feel like senses would definitely be more my thing.
That's great.
Just, my horse ears, my sense of smell, everything like that.
What's your total on that?
I haven't rolled yet.
Go for it.
Okay. Total is a 6.
6 total?
Mm-hmm.
With a 5 total. As you watch, you're smiling, you're offering kindnesses to these people. People have seen you smiling, and it's a mixed bag. People see you smoking a cigar, and even as terrified as they are, they're kind of like, really? Other people will see you, and just the fact that you're so patient and calm, they see you and are calmer themselves. This young family approaches with this woman, this man, and their child. The man is genuinely perturbed, but also appreciative of your assistance in getting across. Baby, cooing, whimpering. You do your best to remember what it was like. In fact, looking at this woman, you have elements of your past bubbling up within you, of seeing your mother and how she treated you, how she treated maybe your siblings, your cousins. Who was that? You don't remember, but because the image, as soon as it hits your brain, is gone. But what you remember is that a mother, a strong mother, a good mother, is the one that will invest in children around her, period. They will invest in other mothers to help support them. There is something vacant behind her eyes. And as you look back ahead to see where the rest of the group is, about half of the people have managed to get their way around you. They still have a wagon to pull across with the 3 injured people. But as the soldier is waving everyone on, his back is to you. And you can see from here his entire breastplate down to his butt, where his tunic actually has a stylized, almost like a towel over the back where his tunic end would be, where there's still armor at his hips. The entire thing is streaked dark with blood. And that's the smell you picked up earlier. He's still waving everyone on like nothing's wrong.
And he's in front of me.
He's ahead of you at the other end of the bridge, waving people on.
As I noticed that, and with the fact that the mother, there seems like there's something going on with the mother, I'm going to briefly look back toward the mother and see if there's maybe anything comparable to the back of her.
So as you do this, they're facing you, so you would not be able to tell if there was something there until she passes you. The baby has started actively crying, and the husband is kind of looking at her like, what's going on? She's like, I don't know. He takes the baby and puts this child across his shoulder, soothing all that, looks at the wife like, what's going on with you? And that's when she is finally past you. People have been injured. There's 3 people that have been injured over there. But what is most alarming is not even necessarily as she passes by. She looked fine. This Mundani woman passes by. She looks fine. The back of her, she's got long hair, frozen a little bit from the moisture. Nothing dark, nothing out of the ordinary. She turns around to look at you. And when she looks, makes eye contact, if you're looking, there's a little smirk. And there's a bubble of red that pops out of her mouth. Before the soldier at the other end glances at you over the shoulder, you almost feel this entire demeanor shift as he stops being this orderly, come on, to a, is he gone? 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 Until finally he's not saying that. That's just the vibe. He gets so much more tense as time passes that eventually he looks at the final group of people on the sick cart and bolts. He drops his sword to the ground. His hands are clawed, not like literal claws coming out, but he is almost clawing at the air to get to these people. And the woman actually, she's no longer smirking. It's a full-blown grin as you see the skin pull and the corners of her mouth begin to split. Not from the cold, but from the sheer force of the musculature opening itself as she opens her mouth and unleashes this shrieking. You're not going to roll initiative in this game. In this experience, initiative is determined by what is the most relevant threat coming at you, and that is fully on me. Right now, the threat at hand is the man and the child. Half of the party has already moved across the bridge. The other half, including the cart, is on the other side. As the man says, Beatrice, what are you doing? That's when the woman claws up and actually rakes skin off of his arm. He screams as he whirls away, turning his back. The baby is wailing. He starts to hobble up the way as other villagers, come on. And that's when the woman, she's now, if you are kind of turning and like spinning around facing, you are facing the eastern side of the bridge where this other soldier has gone feral. So in order to see this woman behind you, you do have to kind of arc your back. And that's when you see that she is bolting for you. She is going to make a grace roll. Here's the challenge. In the course of your adventure in Aeternal, each of those pairs, Brawn and Grace, Senses and Smarts, Will and Aware, they act as opposing complementary pairs. And each of them deals with a specific tactic you can use in combat. The first two, Brawn and Grace, deal with melee. That is what you're going to be rolling right now. She is using Grace to attack you. Let me double check to make sure that we have those stats down. Yes, we do. OBKB. She has leapt through the air using her Grace. Go ahead and roll me whatever stat you would like between Brawn and Grace, because this is a melee attack, to defend yourself.
Okay. Honestly,
the number you are attempting to beat is a 6.
A 6. Okay. I mean, they're both the same.
So it's flavor at this point.
Yeah, at this point it is flavor. I would say, though strong and heavy, I feel like it wouldn't be unlike me to potentially use my equine physique to try and almost bolt over, or kind of pivot in a way to almost face her and try and dodge a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to use Grace.
Let's do that. There is risk here. There are still people trying to cross that are desperate to cross. You spinning around will cause some danger, but we're going to stick with it. You have spoken it.
Yep.
And so we're going to stick with that as far as the canon is concerned. The roll will dictate how well it turns out for everyone. Go ahead and roll. The number you're trying to beat is a 6.
Okay. So that's a 6 on the die. So it's a 9 total. Yes,
you
I have
crit.
a 9. Okay. Beauty.
So that's awesome. So as this woman pounces on you, go ahead. Let me hear you.
Instead of full on just pivoting, might I be able to rear up as horses do?
Yeah.
And essentially rear up and then pivot to face her so as to potentially avoid anyone who's around me.
Love that. Because of this strafe, because of this whirling kick that you have with your front legs, she is not able to land a hit on you. You successfully evade that. That threat, every single combat encounter gives every aggressive character 2 actions before we come back to them. And the order kind of doesn't matter so long as everyone in initiative, per se, is acting and has acted. Okay? So kind of stake your claim as the story progresses. You have made this defensive roll, which means you haven't used an action. You have 2 actions to either move, attack, or do 2 of each, or 2 of one of those. So 2 attacks at once, so 2 moves at once, like a dash, all of them. Right now, the only other relevant information that I can give you, that's 1 action on her part. I would argue that because you were so successful in that crit, I'm going to switch to give you a little more insight into the soldier. Not only has he sprinted over to the other side, he has leapt at, in the same way, claws, fingers clawed like this, jumping on top of another one of the villagers that's pulling the handcart. That man descends. He's an older man, late 50s, wailing as this once soldier. What is going on? What is happening? This soldier has ripped off his own helmet and is now trying to bite at whatever vein that is accessible in this very poorly clothed man. So neck, arm, groin. Those are the veins, and whatever this man can reach, this soldier can reach, he is desperate to do so. They're on the ground. They're wrestling. And in fact, I'm going to roll. This is a D. Okay, so he's actually stronger. The villager is going to be rolling a D4. Not good. So he actually, as this soldier jumps on top of him, he finally lands a bite. And this is a crit. So the bite normally would take about 3 HP. Because it's a crit, it's double damage. 6 HP is gone. Keeping in mind that the base HP for every character in the game, no matter where you begin, starts at 10. Villagers roll with a D4 like this, and they have a limited amount of HP at only 10. So this man is going to go down unless there is some kind of stop to it. People are panicked, and now they don't even know if they should cross the bridge or if they should just turn heel and run off the bridge or back the way they came, except that those that are, they don't even see the danger as they start running back the way they came. And that's kind of how I'm going to phrase it as this round is halfway through. Some of these villagers are literally trying to run back the way they came just for the safety of being on solid ground. Go ahead and roll me 1 more D6 grace.
D6 grace. Kim.
You're really lucky with these rolls, bro.
So that is a 4 on the die. That's a 7 total for grace.
7 on the die. That is another crit. You feel the bridge groaning beneath the weight of everyone that's coming and going and now sprinting and moving so powerfully. You're doing your best to stay focused. You're doing your best to stay composed, but this is not going well. This woman, you're now facing your back towards the wagon. Okay, you're facing the Phelan as he's like, go, 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 come on, come on. This woman starts trying to claw at you again, wide strafing sweeps of her fingers. She's going to come in for another attack on you.
Okay.
This is going to be a grace-based attack. And so she's going to be coming at you with a total of 4. What does your defense roll look like?
Let's see, my defense.
And flavor this for me so I know how to respond to you.
Okay. And so my defense, I can choose to use my brawn or grace?
Correct.
Okay. So she's coming at me again. I feel like right now, I would probably do just another. I would probably rear up again, just trying to defend, myself.
Yeah.
One of the best things, to put out there is my flailing hooves to try and to block anything.
Do it.
While I'm doing that, though, I am going to be reaching down for my double bit axe.
Oh, no, we're getting serious. Make my roll for me. Make the roll for me.
Okay. So that's another 6 on the die.
I'm just going to let you get some damage in on this, my guy. So, jeez, For sake of the crit, I'm going to let you switch. She's come at you with an attack, and because of your successes here, I'm going to let you inflict damage here. We have not discussed how much damage this would lend itself to an attack, but where this is technically an unarmed attack, I'm going to allow you to use your brawn modifier as the damage.
Okay. That makes sense. Sweet.
So your feet whinny, like whirl through the air. You are whinnying yourself until finally you come back down and you kick out once more. You launch this chick. And I'm going to give you this choice. Do you knock her through the handrail of the bridge and thereby attempt to eliminate her from the fight? Or do you just push her further up the way towards the other side?
And am I given this option because of
your crit?
Of the crit. Okay.
This will not happen all the time. I feel like it's narratively important.
Yeah.
You hear roaring behind you of this man being attacked on the ground. What is your decision?
Honestly, I need to deal with him. I'm gonna bat her off the side.
Nice.
I'm gonna try and just shove her right off the side.
With that, I'm going to do this. Where this is starting to go south for her and south for the bridge, I'm going to roll for the bridge and roll for her. Let's see. Okay, so that was okay. You kick her solid right in the sternum, right? She's butt over end, just like she actually. How does it feel knowing that when she hits the side rail, her back completely arches over it?
Being a strong person but a gentle person, this would affect me. This would catch me off guard, and if it would make my eyes grow wide, and it's a bit shocking.
If it's any further grace to you, when she makes impact, it's a split second that she arches her back over the wood before the wood gives. And unfortunately, your kick was so powerful that the handrail itself rips itself from the side of the bridge. That portion of the bridge is no longer safe to traverse. But you were able to get her gone. You even can peer over the edge as you're kind of shimmying side to side. You see her tumbling, disappears into the mist. The guy behind you, and just the violence, the viscera that you hear behind you. What are you doing?
Okay, this all being said, do I still have my 2 actions then?
You have 2 actions, yes.
Okay. That being said, how far away is he, more or less, from you?
He is going to, if you're going 60 feet back over the bridge, if you're right in the middle, you're going 60 feet back over the edge. I would argue that movement is interesting because it's similar to D&D. It's 6 feet per space. Okay. So moving 5 spaces is 30 feet of movement.
30 feet. Okay. So it'd be
and that's 1 action, right? So hold on. Let me see. Your movement. Let's take a look at your stats for movement.
My move
is 7. Actually, I mixed that up. Movement is 5 feet per 1 space of move. You can go 35 feet in 1 action. I would argue that if you wanted to, this would not count as a full action, but you could use the momentum of your gallop to potentially bat off this soldier from the man being attacked.
Okay. I was actually going to ask if I could potentially use some of that movement. Basically what I want to do is almost like a there's a Western that I've watched where the protagonist actually comes in and essentially like drifts his horse to the side, like he pulls the reins, the horse drifts to the side, and literally the haunches of the horse knocks a guy over.
Let me do this.
What I want to try and do.
In order to facilitate that, you're going to need to roll. You can use your movement, but this is going to be a roll at disadvantage. So grace is what we're going for. You're trying to knock this guy off his block while not crushing the man beneath him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're both on the ground right now. They're
Mm-hmm.
both, he is like straddling this man, like biting
just
over him and doing what he can. So I'm going to let you try. I want to see how this works. I want to see how this works. Still a D6 that you're going up against.
Okay.
The threat is going to go up against his D6. He has a modifier +3. The number to beat is a flat 6.
Flat 6. Okay. And you said with disadvantage, so it's roll the 2, take the lesser.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So the first one is a 3.
Okay.
And then the second one is a 6 on the die. So that would be a 6 total.
You are the actor in the situation, meets it, beats it. You successfully, dude. You successfully gallop up and around. You are pulling, moving as fast as you can. You swing yourself around, skidding up across ice on the ground. And as you do, you're barely able to use your front hooves to claw and dig their way in so that you swing yourself around, smack this guy with the lower and like the knee of your leg. You're able to then kind of strafe over the top and kind of protectively over the top of the man on the ground.
So almost standing over, straddling the
exactly. And as this soldier kind of tumbles, he flashes back up on all fours. He's no longer got his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
He is sweating profusely. He has red dripping down his face. Before you got there, he was able to inflict another 3 damage to this man. He has 1 point of health
this guy
left.
Is barely hanging on.
As this soldier looks up at you, make one more roll. I will let you have this because that was so freaking cool. Make one more senses roll. This will not be difficult.
Okay, and this is just straight roll.
Straight roll senses.
6 on the die. That's a 7 total.
With this crit, you didn't even need it, but with this crit, I'm going to do my best to honor the crit. You look this man in the eye, or what once was a man. What you see instead are the blood vessels around his eye. The whites of his eyes are now completely dark red, as if the blood vessels there have completely ruptured beneath the surface of his eyeball organs.
Oh,
his mouth is dripping viscera, but as you watch as he's snarling, he's actually... What do certain people do when they have something stuck in their throat? They... It's kind of gross when they do it that way, but that's what this soldier's doing. And as he does, he coughs. There's flecks of black that are now lining his mouth that flick up onto his face from the force and just the stickiness of whatever he's trying to cough up. And as this is happening, you watch as this soldier tries to stand. He's arching his shoulders and his back. He's rolling himself up to standing. He's doing his best. Is he fighting to breathe? Or is he fighting to stand? Or is he fighting to stay conscious against something that is forcing its will upon him? You do not know. All you know is that as he's arching himself up to the sky, his every muscle down his neck is taut. And even in the darkness, as the ambient light of the moon shines through the mist around you, everything has a perpetual bluish gray glow. So when you see the veins along his neck pulsing black against his skin, you realize that there is something severely wrong here. This is not good. And I want to hear your reaction as you start to see and hear the man beneath you, who you have stood to protect, begins to react to whatever was done to him.
Oh no.
There are still 3 panicked people in that cart behind you. You are less than 1 space away from that cart with the man beneath you, and you have another soldier standing there getting ready to pounce after whatever convulsion releases from him. You are standing next to a ravine. You have a bridge that is rickety at best, and you have 3 more people. The rest of the people have gotten across, and they're watching you breathless as they're regaining their breath in the dark. This is going to be one of the last choices I will give you for tonight's session. We're already 10 minutes over the allotted 1 hour I promised you. So this is how we're going to be wrapping up the story. How do you think, let's pull back a little bit. Sämpson, get inside his head. Think about what resources he has. He's already brandished his double-sided axe. He's got 4 hooves, an axe, his brawn, his grace, and his wits. What does he choose to do knowing that there are 2 threats in this situation? One fully fledged and in a rictus of control, and the one beneath you coming to full fervor.
Man, that being said, and using the assets that Sämpson has, you mentioned the 4 hooves and everything like that, the brawn. Sämpson, being a logging horse, he has a very strong back. And that being said, he is going to pick one of the people up. I'm gonna throw the whole. I'm gonna holster my axe.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna grab one person that's in the cart, and then I'm going to tell the other one, "Get on my back now. We got to get out of here."
Okay.
And I'm essentially going to help them get onto the horse back.
Great. You are able to get 2 of them on your back, one of them in your arms. You're big enough, you could have one of them on one arm. So you could have one hand free. I'll give you that. You start galloping. It's heavier now. And this is where things get crappy for you, because you are now 600 pounds heavier, about 500. We'll give it 500 pounds heavier. Rather than a D6, we're going up to a D8 just by virtue of this growing in difficulty. Still the same threats. There's 2 threats present. Okay. You are rolling your grace.
Okay.
The number to beat right now is a 6.
Okay. Okay, that is a 1 on the die. That is 4 total.
Okay. You start galloping. You're going as fast as you can. As your hooves hit this side of the bridge, this is the side that was damaged in the first place. It was stuck this way. You see the winch on the side, on the right side this time, on this side of the bridge. Over there, you see the Phelan like, what the frick is happening? But he's posed over the top of his end of the bridge. Your hooves hit, and you hear wood breaking beneath the weight. Oh, you have not yet shattered it. Okay. But I'm going to be making you give me 2 more rolls.
Okay.
If you fail both of these rolls, the bridge goes down. Okay. Breaking behind you, under you, however it happens to be that this plays out. If it's a failure, if it's a critical failure on your part, you're going down with the bridge.
Okay.
Okay. So 2 more rolls. This is going to happen super fast, but it needs to happen. Right now, this is essentially, this next roll is you in the middle of the bridge. Still rolling with a D8 because it's on the weakened side of the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my guy. Please roll well.
Okay. That's a 7.
Total?
That's a 7 total.
You get to the other side of the bridge. Or not the other side. You get to the middle of the bridges as they are intersecting in here. And as your hooves leave the other bridge, you're trying to push yourself forward, so your rear hooves are the last thing to touch the bad part of the bridge. It breaks, and one of your back legs loses all strength as it reaches air. Oh, you have 3 other hooves that are on there, but you stumble. Yeah. One of the people on your back almost slides off and almost falls down the gorge themselves. You're still moving, and this person is going to fall unless you either slow or make another roll to catch them. It will not be difficult, but you will need to make that decision.
I would definitely just instinctually reach back. You said I had the 1 free arm. I would try and reach for them.
Go ahead and reach. Go ahead and roll me. How would you? It's a physicality kind of a thing, so it's either brawn or grace. What are you doing?
I mean, since they're both the same, it would definitely, I feel like it'd be more a grace.
Great. Go ahead and give me that roll.
Almost a speed aspect instead of strength.
Yes. Love that.
Oh my gosh.
Another 1?
Yep, that is a
Okay.
4 total.
With a 1 on my die and a +2.
Oh my gosh.
You barely, as you feel this woman, she's going. No, you're not. You reach behind yourself and pull her back up. You kind of kick your haunches a little bit to bump her up top. You're still getting to the other side. One more roll before the other soldier hits the button that essentially destroys this end of the bridge.
Mm.
Okay? One more roll. This is it. This is the last thing we're doing. Because you're on the stronger end, your difficulty has dropped to a D6. Still 2 threats. The total that you're going to try and beat with a 4 on the die is a 6.
Okay. Oh, come on, buddy. Okay, 5 on the die. That's an 8 total.
I'm like shaking right now. Okay. You careen through the side posts of this end of the bridge, and the minute your front hooves hit terra firma, this Phelan soldier slaps his hand down on a lever. This lever activates a winch which spins wildly from a counterweight. That weight, which was hanging from the middle end of the bridge. The minute it hits the farthest extension of the rope, it's designed to snap a structural arm in the middle, at the middle section of the bridge, and that sends a cascade failure. What you didn't see behind you was both of those men, the older man who's had his throat torn out and the soldier with all this black viscera happening to him, sprinting at full blast on that side of the bridge. And as the bridge starts to collapse, they leap. Ah! And you hear nothing as they drop hundreds of feet to the bottom of this gorge. The darkness and silence of night and breath held is the only thing that greets you. No warmth, no comfort, except maybe that you were of service here. And the horrifying reality that if you had chosen to go around the long way, this could have turned out so much worse. What are some of the last things that is passing through Sämpson's mind as we close?
It's definitely almost remorse or a sadness that he couldn't have saved more. But also a thankfulness to whatever is out there, whether it be intuition or a hunch that had him go this way so that he could have been in service. Being someone who often gives or performs manual labor, that is essentially one of his love languages, is to be able to serve those around him.
Yeah.
And in doing so, he at least takes comfort in the fact that he was able to save the people that he did from whatever that was happening.
I'll say it this way. These townies approach you, and over the course of the next 30 minutes to an hour, they ask your name. They ask you where you're from. They ask you why you look the way you do. And it's a kid that asks, so naturally their parents swat him on the back of the head. You don't ask that kind of a thing. But the night wears on. It's probably, at this point, it's closer to maybe like midnight or even 1 in the morning.
Mm.
And the Phelan is reeling. He's taken off his helmet and is running his fingers through the fur atop his head. It's actually kind of longer up top, like actual hair.
Mm.
So he can style it and stuff, but he's just running his fingers as like a tactile thing to self-soothe.
Mm-hmm.
What is the name that you give these people?
I take a draw on my cigar. Well, you see, my name is Sämpson Mamūt, and I'm here to serve and help.
And the people around you whisper, Sämpson Mamūt, Sämpson Mamūt, Sämpson Mamūt. One of the things I want to The bridge is gone. The one functioning side of the bridge is gone. There's a soldier who will need to return hundreds of miles to the nearest major city, or maybe a couple dozen miles to the nearest township, fiefdom. These townies have nowhere to go. And they were doing their best to find help, but they found you. And somehow, when they arrived, they were panicked. They were scared. They're still scared now. But even watching, you listen for the sounds of a crying child. The memory of a crying child comes back to you. And you notice that the baby is no longer crying. And that's when you realize one of the people, the woman that you helped, you didn't get a good look because you were running balls to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
The woman that you helped and that you now help off of your back has the same face as the woman that you kicked through the railing.
No. So
and she is injured. She's physically injured. And the immediate thought, like, you might even be thinking, is she infected? Is she sick? Is she a monster? But she is crying clear tears. They're freezing to her face, and she still has those beaded little glass droplets around her eyelashes now. But she's genuinely, and the husband is kind of tense too. Like, who are you? Like, she's trying to suss this out. Go ahead and roll me senses or smarts. I will let you flavor it, even if the modifier isn't on the same level. This will not be difficult.
I'd probably do senses.
Okay.
Being more of a bestial nature, be more reliant on my senses than knowledge necessarily.
That's great.
Intelligence.
Let's do it.
So that is a 2 on the die. That's a 3 total.
Okay. In the course of the stories that happen in Aeternal, we are given moments when we don't have a straight answer. We know that we've helped 18 some odd people cross this bridge. Real people. With a 4 on my die, and with a +1 to the general neutral difficulty and tension in this particular situation, you don't know for certain if this woman truly is a normal person. But as she reaches for the child, the husband looks at her scorned before she starts weeping openly, trying to hold her hands out. I'm sorry. I don't know what you saw. That was not me. You hear the thoughts, and like she starts talking about how they met. She starts talking about how he gave her a bouquet of wildflowers, and he called it a bouquet because that sounded nice, but really it was probably 5 small little posies that he picked up from a meadow, but it was her favorite meadow. And as he hears that, he offers the baby to her. And as the baby looks up, baby reaches up and touches mom's chin. I would argue that babies don't know a whole lot, but they know their mother when they see her. That's the last image I would like to leave this session on. So, as we conclude this adventure, I want to thank everyone that's been watching at home. If you have feedback for how the game was played, for the structure of the story, I'm a learning DM. I'm also designing this game from the ground up. If you have any other thoughts, if you'd like to support me, you can go ahead and follow me on my Ko-fi. I have been Dale, portraying Karma, which is essentially the GM or DM of this particular TTRPG. I've been joined by Justin, portraying Sämpson. Justin, any last words?
More than anything, just thank you. This was awesome. It was really fun to experience this system that you've created, and I've been looking I've been really, really looking forward in the past few days. I've been looking forward to playing Sämpson, and I've been so excited for it. So this has been a blast.
You did
I've
an
had
excellent
absolute
job.
chills during the whole time.
Excellent. I'm so glad. Awesome. I'm going to get going. I got some homework to do, but thanks so much for joining us, and I hope to see you on the next one. Have a good night.